Brought to you by Penguin. Secrets of the Shipyard Girls. Written by Nancy Revell and read by Janine Birkett. The moral right of the author has been asserted. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Winston Churchill. Prologue. The North Atlantic Ocean, Monday the 4th of August, 1941. Jack Crawford desperately tried to stay afloat. But as yet another angry wave of freezing cold seawater washed over him, his flailing body was forced back down into the darkened, soundless underworld of the North Atlantic. Jack fought back, and seconds later he managed to battle his way to the surface. But the numbness presently creeping up his limbs told him his time was running out. As he gasped for breath, he inhaled salt water and started spluttering, choking. With his last ounce of energy, he strained his head up to the skies, frantically trying to take in the fresh, pure night air. But his thick tweed trousers felt like lead weights dragging him back down, and despite having freed himself of his jacket shortly after being thrown, or rather blasted, into the ocean, even his cotton shirt now felt like it was tailored with metal. It might have been Hitler's Luftwaffe that had caused Jack to be floundering around in a debris-strewn expanse of sea, with planks of wood from the ship's deck bobbing next to him, and a smattering of lifeless bodies lolling aimlessly face down on the surface of the water. It might have been their bombs that had successfully sunk the steamship, which had been taking him back home to the woman he loved. But as Jack felt nature close in, claiming him, drawing his body down into the quietness of its watery womb, his eyes closed. Jack had lived and worked within a stone's throw of the sea his entire life, and he loved it with a passion. Yet after a lifetime of adoration, it had turned on him, and like a spurned lover baying for blood, it was trying its utmost to kill him. And it was succeeding, slowly but surely. As Jack opened his eyes to take one last look at life, he saw a bright, round yellow light. It was the middle of the night. He was in the middle of nowhere. And until this moment, the only illumination had come from the starry sky and the waning moon above. Jack felt nature close in, claiming him, drawing his body down into the quietness of its watery womb, his eyes closed. Jack knew he was dying. He felt his body closing down. But as it did so, his whole being was flooded with the most comforting warmth, and all around him he could smell a sweetness, like jasmine on a sultry summer's eve. As his grip on life loosened, the door of his mind's eye opened, and he was gifted with a wonderful vision. A beautiful, newly born baby girl. Her eyes were still cloyed with sleep, but as Jack stared in awe at this ethereal apparition, the baby's eyes opened and looked back into his own with unguarded love. A ripple of surprise, then recognition hit Jack, and he smiled, for the wide grey-blue eyes gazing back at him were a replica of his own. And it was then he knew. He knew who the child was. And at that moment, Jack's world went black and quiet, and he knew nature had won. Death had come for him. Chapter 1. The Ford Estate, Sunderland. 3 weeks later, Wednesday, 27th of August, 1941.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?